Thank you, Mr. Leon. Okay, this is a permanency hearing, and I've read all the reports. And looks, I have a couple of concerns. The kids are home with the parents, doing well. But it's my understanding that Miss Duran told any baby can not to talk to CPS, and that Mr. Aguilar only wants Miss Duran to talk to CPS if he's there. Those were some pretty big concerns of mine. So lawyers for the Miss San Miguel's not here, is she?
La señora San Miguel no está ahorita, ¿verdad?
She is here.
She is? Is she here?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, I didn't see it. Sorry. So lawyers for the parents, can y'all address those for me?
First time I'm hearing, I haven't heard any of this.
Miss Harris,
I had not heard about any of that either, Your Honor.
Miss Gilmore, has that improved?
I never listened to Mr. Urbano. I always still communicated with Miss Duran. And in regard to the Any Baby Can, I ended up getting the paperwork after I provided proof that that CPS has custody of the kids. And so I was able to solve that.
Okay.
Judge,
Yes.
I was just going to say, I haven't had those problems with the family. Every time we've been out, they let us in and visit. Mom talked to us I speak very little Spanish, so she was able to tell me what Any Baby Can said, and we were able to put that together. And my understanding was that the child is where he's at, where he's supposed to be, like on level, and they're talking. We observed that.
I'd like to add that she had told me minimal information. However, when I called Any Baby Can, the evaluator, she had told me that Mr. Duran said that we were not allowed to get that information. And then that's when I had explained to her that I was the one who sent the child and we have custody of the children, and we were able to get the information. In regards of communication, Mr. Urbano had told me that I needed to include him into all of the text messages when I communicate with Miss Duran.
What was that for, Miss Gilmore?
It's when I asked Miss Duran questions in regards of the kids.
Gilmore, did he give any indication as to why he wanted you to do it that way?
No, he just had texted me requesting that I not talk to Miss Duran without him on the text.
How did you respond to him, if at all?
I didn't respond.
Have you had any other issues with I'm sorry, John.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, have you had any issues with Any Baby Can since the conversation regarding custody and your rights as the department too?
No, they sent me all the information, and then they were able to talk to me once I sent the documents that we have custody.
And have you had any further concerns with anything the parents did or said regarding Any Baby Can since that time?
Based off of what the evaluator had stated, it's a lot to do with what the parents say. And due to her not being able to answer a lot of the questions, like knowing, as well as him being shy, it didn't give them enough.
And so are you saying that Any Baby Can feels like it doesn't have enough information from the parents?
Yes, that's what they were saying. They weren't able to see enough because he was super shy, and the questions that they had weren't able to be answered. And so they said they could reevaluate in 3 months.
Ms. Gilmore, on those 2 issues, Any Baby Can and the directive from Mr. Urbano not to communicate with just with Sarah. Is there any other concerns you have or anything else you'd like to share with the court on those 2 issues?
No, in regards of those 2 things, those are the only main things, nothing added on to that. The only concern that I have in regards of the children is Genesis being super emotional when CPS goes there, which is a little bit new for her. But other than that, things have been going pretty well.
And I read that in the report. Do you have any understanding of why she might be exhibiting that fearful behavior when you first?
She told us that she was afraid that we were going to take her.
How do you respond when she expresses that fear?
I explained to her that I just come and visit her to see her and see how she's doing. and remind her that every time we come there, it's to just come and visit her and see what she's up to.
So talking about Genesis's fear, any baby can, and the text message issue that we've discussed, are those the reasons why your report requested that the judge remind the parents about the applicability of the Children's Bill of Rights to this case?
Yes.
Y dice ella sí.
And is that still a recommendation you'd make to the court today?
Yes.
Sí.
Let's talk about Genesis for just a minute. I was just going to say, I know in general she's doing well, but she's had some recent diagnoses. Can you describe those to the court?
Yes. So I had her go get ADHD tested based off of when I was helping her with homework, how she had acted with her attention span. And she had got ADHD tested and was diagnosed with ADHD as well as impulse control disorder. And we had there were some concerns in regards of her her needing a 504 accommodation at school. So I coordinated a meeting with her teacher and the assistant principal to have come up with a 504 plan, and she's now getting 504 accommodations.
And I noted in the report there were some concerns about dad completing parenting classes and therapy. Can you talk about those issues?
Yes, I had to ask him multiple times to get the parenting class. However, the last time I asked, I got the certificate, I believe, on Monday. So he finished the parenting class.
And he's Mr. Rahino participating in individual therapy?
It's family therapy with Dr. Garcia, but there was multiple no shows. And however, she texted me yesterday stating that Miss Duran had contacted her, but it's never been consistent at all, ever.
And is the department's recommendation to continue the monitored term for the remainder of the 3 months?
Yes.
Sí.
I have nothing further from Ms. Gilmore, Your Honor, but I guess I'd ask Ms. San Miguel, have you had any luck contacting Mr. Aguilar?
No, the last I heard, there was a possibility of him being in Austin, but that more than likely he was in El Salvador. And I did send a copy of the petition to the embassy for El Salvador.
Thanks, Your Honor. I don't have anything further from Ms. Gilmore.
Your Honor, I don't know if you want me to do this now or not, but it kind of related to Dr. Garcia, and Nina had spoken to her and asked me to relay something to the court. Okay, so I'm just going to go off her email. She said that Ms. Garcia is not contracted with CPS. She had offered to help in this case. She said Brooklyn Gilmore told her she was to do family therapy. She tried to set it up with the mother, but the mother was not following through. She said that Mr. Duran had nothing to do with therapy not working out. She said that she was never asked to do individual therapy. She was also trying to counsel the 12-year-old. And that is all on that subject, Your Honor.
Let me send the lawyers and CASA to a breakout room. Ms. Duran, Mr. Rahino, can y'all hear me?
Sí. I am hearing you. Yes.
Y'all have done a pretty good job, okay? And I appreciate your cooperation. I want y'all to incorporate everything you've learned in raising those kiddos. I don't want y'all to have any more fights amongst y'all marital fights between y'all two.
Yep.
Want y'all to get along and for those kiddos. I don't want Genesis to have to babysit the babies.
Yep.
And I don't want to see y'all in CPS court again. Okay. And I'm going to give y'all an early Christmas present or a Halloween present. And I'm going to dismiss this case.
Y voy a cerrar este caso. Queda finiquitado el caso.
Understand, Ms. Duran?
Yes.
Mr. Rahino, understand?
Señor Regino, ¿le queda claro?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay, so that no more CPS, no more CASA, no more lawyers. Y'all do the same.
No más CP. Yes.
Gracias.
Thank you much.
Because next time it won't be so easy. There's not a next time. Okay?
Sí.
Okay, well, buena suerte.
Gracias.
And adios, and tell Genesis to do good in school.
Bye.
Que adiós y que le digan a Génesis que le vaya bien en la escuela, ¿ok?
Gracias.
Thank you.
Está bien.
Testify, please raise your hand. Do you
Adiós.
swear affirm the testimony you're about to give be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help you God. Mr. I can't ever pronounce it right. Mr. Rogland, if you're on a bed or something, you need to go sit at a table. I can't hear you.
I'm on my couch right now.
Okay, well, we saw shorts and stuff, so we're in court, so we don't want to see any shorts or legs or anything, so.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Because of permanency hearing, lawyers went to a breakout room. What's up? I mean, I had my, notes from reading the reports, but Mr. Rogers, what's up?
Well, we discussed primarily the transfer in the breakout room, Your Honor. I think where we are is that the transfer has been filed. No one has objected, despite some research to see if it could be done. I have communicated with the county attorney's office, Ms. Nicole Russell, as I mentioned, and they're willing to accept the case. And additionally, Mr. Borlon represents that Judge McCoy, who is their judge down there for these matters, that the court is willing to accept the transfer as well. I think the question we were discussing is whether or not any sort of permanency hearing needs to occur today. I don't know. I think Mr. Borlon would prefer not to. I'm not trying to speak for him, by the way, but he has a poor connection, so I'm trying to summarize. The department doesn't have a need to have a much of a permanency hearing today, other than to put a few orders in place just to ensure procedurally the case can continue. And I think the last thing we were discussing is that CASA would send a final report from the perspective of the Llano CASA folks as it goes forward.
Okay, I think is Mr. Baker here? He was going to appear, but I don't see him. Okay.
I'm here, Judge.
His square is there.
I'm here. I just have my video turned off because I'm driving.
Okay, and Mr. Morris is not here, but all the other parents are here. I thought as attorney ad litem ought to file an attorney ad litem report also.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I read the reports. I think that Mr. Morris hadn't been doing anything. I think there's still some questions about mom's boyfriend or former boyfriend or fiance or what traveling companion. Mr. Rogland is visiting with Dallas, and I think things are kind of rocking along okay. I don't really see a need to change a lot of orders between now and the time the case is heard down there.
That's fine, man.
Children are in counseling.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes. Does anybody need anything? I think they're doing step-up visits with Mr. Stephen. Anybody, CASA, Ms. Potsy, y'all need anything today?
Your Honor, if I'm going to file an ad litem report, I'm going to need some help getting some kind of therapy notes, summaries, or something from Phoenix Center.
Judge, this is Russ. I do have a requested order.
Okay. Go on, Mr. Baker.
Yes, ma'am. I'm not sure what the current orders are, but if it doesn't exist, I would ask that the court enter an order that the children's placement not be changed without a further court order.
Okay. Okay. And I also put in here Phoenix Center to provide a summary for ad litem's transfer report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Also, I would like to see Mr. Rogland.
I'm not going to give you notes. Good luck. But I want to, and if you don't get any cooperation saying this case is going from Llano to Nueces County and they don't cooperate, you let me know and I'm going to call them because that's ridiculous.
Yes, Your Honor. And I would like to be sure that the visits with Mr. Rugline do continue to step up if at all possible while we've got therapy and everything in place.
Okay.
I might be able to help a little with the notes. Back when Cody was in practice, he did progress notes, but he would also do what they called a treatment summary. And it was something where at some point, when requested, he would look back and be able to summarize up to that point. So it's not providing notes. I know they don't like to do that, but maybe they would be willing to provide what's called a treatment summary.
Okay, I added the word treatment to before my word summary. Thank you, Ms. McClure. Okay, and moms in counseling and okay. And Ms. Potts get with the Perrys and do all that. And I've got everything else written down. Everybody stays on the case until we know for sure the case is docketed down there. Okay. All the lawyers, everybody, y'all are on until, like I said, until we have because it takes a while to do the transfer back and forth. So, okay, well, parents, y'all still have a service plan. You have to comply or your parental rights will be subject to termination. Y'all will also, other than Ms. Bryant, Mr. Beacon, Borline is going to stay on the case and down there. But Mr. Roadline, you need to, when we hear that the case is transferred, you need to fill out an application for a court-appointed attorney down there. Okay. And Ms. Wheeler can help you with that transition, and maybe she can contact the county attorney's office for you. She'll still be getting paid here until she's totally done, but be sure and talk to your lawyer when she gets back from where she's at so you know what's going on. Okay. Okay. Okay, well, we basically kind of did have a permanency hearing, so all the orders going to remain other than what we previously talked about. Case transferred to Nueces County, Phoenix Center to produce a treatment summary for ad items transfer report, placement not changed without court order. Visits for Mr. Roadline increased for CPS and midlines. Okay, thank you. I will take the case off my docket. So we have I'll keep it on because it's set for trial 12/13. Got to make sure county attorney's office, y'all just let me know for sure when the case is gone. Okay.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
I have Ms. Holmes, Mr. King, Mr. Crispel. I basically think he's not communicating with anybody. The kiddos are with the aunt in the Burnett area. They seem to be doing well. Ms. Holmes is still in jail, obviously. Mr. King is doing well on his service plan. Looks like I need to adjudicate him as Braylon's father based on the DNA. So we need to talk about that real quick, Mr. Rogers. And for the first permanency hearing, that's pretty much what I got today. So you may begin, Mr. Rogers.
Thank you. You call Rafael Tovar. You have received DNA results for Braylon. Can you describe that to the court?
Yes, I received the DNA test results for Braylon through AMDT in Marble Falls. And it stated that there is a 99.99% chance that Jake King is the biological father for Braylon.
All right. So would you ask the court to adjudicate Mr. King as the father of Braylon? He's already as the father for Bristol. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And in addition to that, that means we could dispense with the unknown father because we always believed it was one of the two dads, but we had an unknown riding along just in case. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Now, that's sort of the good news. The bad news, is my understanding, is that we have a birth certificate issue for Braden and Braylon. Is that true?
Yes, that's correct.
So that they do not have birth certificates?
That's correct.
Do you know why that is?
What I was told was that Ms. Holmes at the hospital for Braylon had received information or a packet to fill out in order to get the delayed birth certificate request, but was unable to complete them before her incarceration. And a similar circumstance as well for Braylon and Braden were both home births.
Okay. And so I guess we will be needing to begin that rather arduous process to obtain birth certificates. Is there anything you need from the court to assist with that?
Ms. Griswold actually provided a bunch of helpful information. She was able to have signed affidavits of witnesses of the birth provided to me. I received the medical records from the Round Rock Hospital in Marble Falls for Braylon. And I'm just waiting on the medical records for Braden to start filling out the delayed birth certificate registration packet and to wait the month that it will take to come back in the mail.
Okay. Anything else on the birth certificates?
No, sir.
And so Ms. Holmes is still in the Burnett County Jail. And what are her plans upon release?
Her plans are to be released into open door recovery. When she's released, I believe she said, want to say the first or second week of October.
Okay. And also we had asked the court to perform hair strands on the children. What were the results of those hair strands?
I believe Braylon's hair strand was positive or Bristol's hair strand was positive for, I believe it was methamphetamines, cocaine. Yes, just methamphetamines and cocaine.
And the other two were negative.
That's correct. Well, they couldn't, we were unable to test Braden due to his age, but Braylon's was negative.
Okay. Has Bristol been exhibiting any symptoms of withdrawal or agitation or any problems that you could see?
No, as far as I'm aware from Ms. Griswold, is that all three of the children have been doing very, very well in placement. I mean, besides from the usual crying and irritation that kids that age usually have, but there are no concerns regarding the withdrawal or substance abuse.
Okay. And have you heard anything from Mr. Crispell?
No, I have not. I reach out to him multiple times a month. I've even tried to show up at his previous address, and he's usually either not there, or I believe it's the woman who's living there tells me he's not living there anymore. His voicemail does come up to his voicemail where it does identify as him. And I did notice that he does post on Facebook occasionally, but he won't ever reach back out to me.
Okay. And has he performed any services under his service plan?
No, he has not.
How's Mr. King doing on his service plan?
Mr. King has been doing very well on his service plan. He's been very good with drug testing. He's been really excellent with visitations from what I hear from Ms. Griswold. He provides necessities to the kids and he's paying his child support. And he's been participating in protective parenting as well as individual therapy. The only things that I believe he started recently was that nurturing parenting and the OSAR assessment. He stated he did it, and I'm just waiting for the results from Bluebonnet Trails.
Okay. And has Ms. Holmes been able to perform any services, or are they limited because of her incarceration?
She's very much limited to her incarceration.
And do you anticipate she'll begin when she's released?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Have you had good communication with her?
Yes, she's been very, very open with me. Every time I visit with her at the jail, she will tell me anything and everything I need to know. And she's been very pleasant.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. Other than that, kids are doing well?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay, great. I have nothing further from Mr. Tobar. Thank you, sir.
Anybody have any questions of Mr. Tobar?
No, Your Honor.
No?
Yes, I do.
You do? Okay, thank you, Miss Harris.
Mr. Tovar, you said you're just needing medical records for Braden at this time?
Yes, just for Braden.
What hospital is that you're needing it from?
I believe from what Ms. Holmes told me, I believe it was the Marble Falls Hospital as well.
And have you been able to request those yet?
Yes, I have.
And what's the approximate timeline to be able to get those records?
Marble Falls is typically pretty responsive to me. I do expect, after I push the issue with them, I do expect to probably have them within a week.
Okay.
Hopefully sooner.
And
But
will you let me know if you do not get those?
of course.
As far as Mr. King's visitation, do you think it's time to start progressing his visitation?
Yes, I do. I believe that he's been entirely appropriate with the kids and he's participating and he's very, very, very much engaged in the case.
Would unsupervised visits be appropriate at this time?
Yes, I believe so.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you, Ms. Harris. Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Tovar, that includes Braylon and Braden, correct? I mean,
Yes.
His two kids. You've got to say Braylon and Bristol, right?
Yes, ma'am, that's correct.
Okay. Has he been visiting with Braylon?
He's been visiting with both Braylon and Bristol. I believe he does see Braden maybe occasionally, but the visitations are more for Braylon and Bristol.
Okay. Okay. So they have a relationship. Well, I mean, I know the kids are two almost, almost 3. So, okay. Thank you. Anybody else?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Any more witnesses? Mr. Harris, Mr. Rogers.
No, ma'am. I guess the department, as we mentioned previously, just for the record, we'd ask you to adjudicate Mr. King as Braylon's father. I realize that Ms. Holmes is incarcerated, and so this is a little bit belt and suspenders because I know we're running out service to her right now. But just Ms. Holmes and Mr. King, we'd ask that you note that they've made general appearances. We still had a little trouble serving Mr. King as well. And at the last hearing, Mr. Crispell asked that his attorney be dismissed, and you did so. We may need to appoint a new attorney for him, even though he's a bit in the wind right now. That's
You
all.
know, I have the status hearing that the dads did not appear.
Yeah, Mr. Crispel, ironically, is the only one who's been served, so we don't need to worry about him.
Served,
Let me look.
because he's been served, and I think he appeared at the first hearing.
He did. He appeared at the adversary. He was served May 10th of this year.
Well, Mr. King and Ms. Holmes have appeared, and Mr. King is here today, so we got them making a general appearance. Mr. Crispel, Ms. Wheeler was, like you said, was previously appointed to represent him. She withdrew because he did not comply with the court order or her direction to fill out the application for court-appointed attorney. So I'm not going to worry about him. If nobody hears from him and he was served, he is acknowledged for Braden. I'm going to consider him a default.
Very good, Your Honor.
So, I just don't know how many times we're supposed to appoint lawyer, and he's appeared,
That's true.
It's not MIA, I don't know. Does anybody have any case law or anything to show? Why do we have to keep appointing lawyers for people when they know they need to come to court and they just blow it off?
And Your Honor, I think he's got to establish that he's indigent to get another one, and he had a chance to do that and didn't.
Right.
That's true. He refused to fill out the documentation, so just wanted something on the record about it.
No, I got it. Thank you. Okay, Ms. Lang, you need anything?
Yes, Your Honor, just a couple of things. The release date is October the 14th. I did confirm Leisha's release date is October 14. I confirmed with Paula that she does have a bed available, and so she should be able to go straight over to Open Door at that point in time. And we've been working with the Pregnancy Center trying to get some literature and things to help Leisha while has been incarcerated. And so we're going to have to be meeting with Lieutenant Armbruster and the jail staff to figure out what's going to be allowable and not moving forward so we can help our incarcerated parents. We just didn't get it done for Leisha before she's going to get out. I'm just going to ask her real quickly, Judge, if she can give any more information that may be helpful about the birth certificates or anything else that's been provided as information today. Leisha, do you need any clarification on anything?
No, ma'am. It should all be the same.
Okay. Very good. Oh, I did have one more thing, Judge. Can you adjudicate Mr. Tovar as the subject matter expert on birth certificates? Because I have never heard a caseworker so organized and understanding on how to get this stuff done, and he needs to be the subject matter expert. That's my nomination. So
I could do that only if you get a raise.
He deserves it. Jacinda's listening, I'm sure. So.
I'm sure Ms. Mouton agrees. So, Ms. Lang, when you say your client's getting out, is she going on probation? Is she served her time? Is she on bond? What's up with that?
She's going to go back on probation on her underlying charge, I'm sure. Right, Leisha?
No, ma'am. I'll have time served.
You'll get time served and you'll be done. Okay. Very good.
Okay. Well, Ms. Holmes, don't mess it up because, it sounds like you got a blessing going to Open Door. And, Ms. Paula, she don't put up with much.
Yes, ma'am.
And there's no reason, you've been in jail for a while, so there's no reason, we should have to relapse or, do anything dumb. You're kind of way ahead of everybody,
Yes, ma'am.
So that'll be great. Okay, Miss, who's filling in for Miss Willis? Miss Potts?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything for Mr. King other than what we've already talked about?
No, Your Honor, we're good.
Okay. Let's see, costs, Miss Deborah, anything Costanese is not in the report?
I did find Mr. Crispel about a month ago. He answered my call. I was able to have a visit with him. It sounds like he had gone off the wrong path. He's back working. He was asking me about finding how did he pay his child support. I don't know if he ever got a hold of Miss Harris or not, but I told him to contact her. That's the only thing I have to offer. And I did talk to his mother, and they're very supportive of him and trying to keep him on the right track. So he has surfaced. He said his phone was not working, whatever. Anyway, he looked good. He looked bright. He was very appropriate. He was very apologetic about his past behavior. He seemed at that visit that day to be trying to go down the right road.
Well, you might want to call his parents back and tell him that I do not believe that Mr. Tovar has heard from him and he needs to get his act together.
Okay.
Is that correct, Mr. Tovar?
Yes, that's correct. He has my number, and about 100 voicemails, so he can reach out to me whenever he needs to.
Okay, I gave him, he said he'd lost all the numbers and I gave him the numbers. And that visit was on 8/18. So
Okay.
you haven't had any contact with him since then?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Okay, well, tell his parents too, because I'm sure his parents will be disappointed in that.
okay.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Harris, you good? Kids good?
They're doing great. I'm really excited about Mr. Tovar getting so much done on the birth certificates, because I was going to start working on it, but he's already done all the stuff I was going to do. So that's great. As far as Mr. King, he's been paying his child support. The visits have been going great. I think we need to move to unsupervised. I would suggest that we have 2 weekends of a day-long visit, either on Saturday or Sunday with the kids, and then after that, move to weekends. Full weekend visits.
I'll figure out a plan. Talk to Ms. Griswold and see what y'all can work out, and with Mr. King. And I'm just going to leave that. Let's do our baby step up thing, and I'm good with that.
Okay. And then as far as Ms. Holmes, from what I understand, she's doing good. Her family's really supportive. They're happy with her. I just want to make sure that you let her know that she has got to do either, if Open Door falls through, she's got to do some kind of aftercare program.
Right.
And
I'm
when
sure.
visits start, I'm fine with placement with Ms. Griswold supervising the visits, but I'd still like the department to observe some.
Okay. And I know that when she gets to Open Door, she's going to have, some real rigid requirements there at first too. So, okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Harris. Parents, y'all have your service plan. You have to comply. Your parental rights can be subject to termination. I'm going to adjudicate Mr. J. Keene is Braylon's father. The unknown father of Braylon is non-suited from this case. Our next permanency hearing is 12/13. And Ms. Holmes, you should be way, that makes good sense, doesn't it? Way into your journey with Open Door, and be able to get off campus, or what do you want to call it, by then, hopefully. And that'll be our second permanency hearing. So that'll be a real important kind of telling, spot where we are. So that's good. I'm going to say visits for Mr. King increase as agreed by CPS and items, and visits for Ms. Holmes as y'all all agree to also. And I agree with Ms. Harris. Some ought to maybe be at the department for Ms. Holmes, or CPS go observe with Ms. Griswold, or maybe Ms. Griswold just needs a break. She got 3 little bitty kids at her house. She might just need a break and want to just drop them at the CPS office for a while, or something like that. So y'all make a plan, and everything's going good, really good. Okay. Well, good luck to y'all, and we'll see y'all till 11 in case y'all's other family comes on.
Thank you, Judge.
Bye. Y'all got a hairy Longhorn picture in the background. Us Longhorns like anything that looks Longhornish. When what's the stat? We're going to talk in codes. What's the status of the pink? Y'all get it?
Yeah, in 1 month.
1 month. Okay, good. What area? Y'all understand what I'm talking about there?
Yeah, Caldwell.
That's right. I was thinking of here, Austin. Here's Denise. Yeah, we might need her. Okay.
Where are you going?
And what's the age difference?
1 month. Or 1 day less than 1 month.
So will everybody be in the same grade?
Yep.
Yeah, because little man is November, so it's not like he's got a summer birthday that we have to deal with. I mean, y'all are in that profession, y'all. Just checking to make. Sometimes we got to hold back if we got summers or whatever. So,
Yeah.
Why'd y'all move down there? For jobs?
Family.
Okay, and they boy and a girl. I mean, how much better than that can you get?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Were y'all looking for a little girl, or did whatever came up, whichever sex came up, or did it matter?
Whatever came up. And,
He's excited.
yeah. We love him there.
She's outnumbered, that's for sure. Y'all have dogs? Y'all have pets?
We have one dog who's a girl as well, but
Your Honor,
that's all she's got.
Your Honor, she has no problem holding her own though.
Yeah.
She's running things definitely.
You're the teacher.
Huh?
Miss Shakira?
Huh?
Do you remember Miss Shakira?
Papa.
You want to say hi?
You went to review.
Here is
Mm-hmm.
Hi, Sarah.
Oh,
Hi, Bella.
okay. Well, we got one more minute. We checked the waiting room. Okay, Ms. Hyde, you may begin, please. Happy day.
Yeah, we're so thrilled to be here. First of all, thank you for getting us on the docket so quickly, Your Honor. It meant a lot to the family. I know Ms. Williams was also keeping her fingers crossed that as soon as we got everything else worked out, that we were able to finalize soon. And I want to let you know, she moved mountains to make it all happen after we finished that mediation. So we are thrilled to be here and thank you. I would ask if you could take judicial notice of the court's file, please.
I'll take judicial notice of all the pleadings filed in 2232 and on CPS case. DFPS looks like a option.
She's a supervisor out, but not out of like Bastrop and Hayes, and if it's the same Aaron Smith, DFPS. That's the only one I know. She may be wanting to attend this adoption because the other case is in her unit. That Judge Stuckey's case is in her unit, and she had emailed me and asked me when we were finalizing this one. So I assume that's why she's on.
Okay, I'll let her in. Okay, thank you, Ms. Hyde. And y'all, there are a couple of people in here that y'all don't know that like work for the county attorney's office or other lawyers in my court. So don't worry, everything's okay.
They're all good folks who are excited to be here, I think. And Your Honor, their former child placing agency, just to let you know, before they moved, they were licensed with Helping Hand Home, and I see that Ms. Solo is on as well from Helping Hand. So they even have former folks that work with them on here today, which is
great. That's great. Great.
So I will call Ms. Shakira Williams as my first witness.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Williams.
And you are the specialist for this wonderful adoption today.
Yes, I've had the privilege.
Now, you really kind of moved everything as quickly as possible, had everything ready to go. And then as soon as we were legally ready to proceed, made sure that you called in a few favors to make sure that everything could get processed by all the proper offices so we could be here today, correct?
Yes.
And is that because you wanted this family to have this adoption finalized as soon as possible?
Yes, it's been a long time coming. They've really been waiting, and it's been a trying time.
And they've been that entire time, though. They've never wavered in their love, their care, their commitment, or being the best dads ever, right?
Right.
Can you tell Judge why it's your belief that Dante is right where he needs to be and you're recommending his adoption today?
Well, I believe Dante being adopted by Tim and Sam is in his best interest. Since I've had the case, they've just showed nothing but love, definitely stability, for Dante, and even with Isabella there, and just them two, how they get along and how they're so just connected and bonded together. And I have no doubt in my mind that, they're going to provide the love, the nurturing, that Dante needs, and definitely just for permanency for Dante, and that they can just, move on, and, the kids can grow together.
That sounds like we're getting a strong recommendation from you, Ms. Williams. Judge, I would pass this witness.
Thank you. Ms. Harris, any questions?
Have you been able to see Dante with Tim and Sam and his hopefully future sister there in the house with him?
Yes.
And is he bonded to them?
Yes.
Have they been able to meet all his needs?
Yes, definitely.
Do you think this is in his best interest for an adoption to occur?
Yes, I do.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Wilson, any questions?
No questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Hyde, next witness, please.
Thank you, Judge. I'd like to go to Casa as my next witness. Well, you are here today for this long-awaited adoption, correct?
Correct.
Now, Casa, of course, has been on Dante's case for a very long time, and you've made a lot of recommendations to Judge Mabray, a lot of court reports. I'm going to ask you for your last one. Your last court report based on what you believe to be in Dante's best interest and why, as Judge considers his adoption. I would also, if there's anything else you'd like Judge to know, please let her know as well.
Well, since Dante was discharged from the hospital till today, Dante has been in an incredibly stable home. The parenting there has been just exceptional. And to watch him, he has definitely developed a bond and attachment to these foster parents. And with the addition of Isabel, they're definitely a family unit. There's a lot of affection and love there. And that provides a lot of stability. But even on top of that, both of these parents have actually encouraged to the point of even going above and beyond to try to get Dante connected with his biological family members. So all of that bodes very well for Dante in his future. So I believe it's in his best interest that he be adopted by these foster parents.
They're really rather remarkable parents, are they not?
They are.
And Dante's been in their home since December of 2021. Very long time you've been following his progress now. It sounds like you know that he's definitely at home with his parents and this adoption is in his best interest.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Judge, pass this witness.
Mr. Wilson, any questions?
No, Judge.
No. Ms. Harris?
Do you think that Tim and Sam are going to be able to meet all of Dante's needs?
Yes.
If anything were to occur in the future, do you think that they know what they need to do to be able to get any help for him?
Yes, matter of fact, probably better than most of us would, because of their background. One of the parents is going to be a pediatric nurse practitioner, and the other one is an educator. And so much better than I would. So yeah.
Great. That's all, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next witness, Ms. Hyde.
Thank you very much, Judge. I don't know. I was trying to scroll through my screens. I don't know if we have anyone here from their current child placing agency. Is Ms. De La Garza here? Okay.
Well, no.
But I would like to then go to Ms. Mackenzie Solo, who knows this family probably even better.
Thank you.
Thank you. Your name, please?
Mackenzie Solo.
Hello, Miss Solo. You are here today, not because you have to be, because you weren't going to miss this. You so want to be here for this adoption, correct?
Yes, I would not miss it for the world.
Now, you're with the child placing agency Helping Hand Home, who do such marvelous work all over. And you had actually were the original agency that had licensed this family while they lived in the Central Texas area, correct?
Yes, that is correct.
And you got to know them well with your regular visits and phone calls and everything else, correct?
Yes, I sure did.
And of course, you had a lot of court reports and an approved home study on them. Can you tell the judge why you know that this adoption is in Dante's best interest, and anything that you'd like her to know about this family as well?
Yeah,
absolutely. Hold on just a second, Ms. Solo. In the waiting room, Rachel's iPhone. I know Rachel Houseman is the CASA advocate on this case.
Yes,
I don't know if that's her or not, but I hate for her to miss it if it is. I'll let that.
It is, Your Honor, correct. Thank you.
Okay. And a Donna Gonzalez. Dads, do y'all know her?
Not on the list, I have.
No, okay. Okay, thank you. A lot of people in the waiting room I recognize, not in the case, but some I don't know who they are. So I just wanted to.
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
Solo, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So I got the absolute pleasure of working with this wonderful family before they left us and had to switch agencies. We tried so hard to hang on. But they have done just an outstanding job with both of these kids. I mean, they jumped right into parenthood and just every decision was, is this the best thing for Dante? What can we do to make sure that Dante has everything that he needs? They have had an undoubted connection with Dante and also have been just the most amazing advocates for his needs and, you know, inclusion of the bio family and reaching out and making sure that they really do their due diligence so that Dante can have the utmost support from all avenues that are appropriate for now. And I cannot imagine that that would ever change throughout his entire life. I have full faith that this is just where this kiddo belongs.
Ms. Sully, you're giving a heartfelt recommendation to Judge Mabray, are you not?
Yes, I am.
And it sounds like you miss this family.
I miss them so much.
Thank you very much. Your Honor, I pass this witness.
Ms. Wilson or Ms. Harris, any questions?
No, Judge.
No questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Hyde, next witness.
Thanks, Judge. I'd like to go to the dads now, and I will go to Mr. Timothy William first.
Okay.
Hello. No, but you have another name that these children call you by. What's that?
Daddy.
And that's the best name ever, right?
Yeah.
And you're asking Judge to make sure that now, not only in your heart as you've been, but now legally you will be daddy to Dante forever, correct?
Yes.
Tell Judge, of course, she's known him for a long time and she has a lot of reports that she's read. She can see your beautiful family and has chatted with you, but just tell everyone and the judge a little bit about what life is like down there with Dante and Bella and just kind of bring us up to date a bit.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, it's kind of hectic, but it's it's a lot of fun. Both of them are incredible kids, and honestly, like when Dante joined our family, it felt like our family was complete, and then when Bella came in, it felt even more so. It just very much like, even though there's no blood relation between any of us, it feels like we all were meant to be together, and we just love him so much, and like he's grown a lot with us. He's a big talker now and super energetic little guy. But no, and it's neat to see his little personality come out. He can definitely be a little mischievous sometimes, but he's always like good-hearted with it. And he's got a really, really good heart, and he's just a very kind kiddo. And yeah, he just likes to entertain himself.
And he's got a lot of cousins down there now that you've moved that are close by too, correct?
Because he has 3, again, male cousins down here, 2 now, and a newborn that we see every single week, and they just love to play with. And he's really close with the 4-year-old.
Now, we've had a lot of witnesses that have testified about how wonderfully you've been done in the past and how they know that you're going to continue to do that. Are you making a promise to Judge Mabray, who he may be your kid, but he's also her kid? Are you making a promise to her? She doesn't have to worry about Dante again. She can know that you and your husband will always be there for him, love him, care for them, do everything you can as you already have been doing, which is the fathers that he deserves.
Absolutely, 100%.
Good word, absolutely. And anything you want to say as family, friends, or legal folks that are here today to celebrate this adoption?
No, just thank you all.
Here.
Yeah, thank you all so much for everybody who did come. Like, it really does mean a lot. We've got Dante's grandparents on my side, on Sam's side, and as well as his great grandma on his bio dad's side. Oh, and there's Alexa. That's his aunt, my brother's sister. And so it's just neat to have everybody here. He's got such a strong support network, like within his bio family, within our family. And it's just neat how everybody, like from the beginning, has just really put in so much for him. And thank you all for everything you have done for him. And
I think we're all thanking you all back. But that was very lovely. Judge, I pass this witness.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson?
No questions, Judge.
Okay. Aaron?
Sir, is Dante already a part of your family in your life and in your heart?
Absolutely.
Are you just asking the judge to make that official for you today?
Yep.
No further questions, Judge.
Okay, thank you. I know we have another witness, Ms. Hyde.
We do. We have Mr. Samuel Alfonso. And what do the kids call you?
I'm Papa.
Papa. Is that a name you love?
It's a name that I'm okay with.
Well, but the meaning of the name is what's most important. Being these kids, Papa means a lot, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you're asking Judge to make sure that you know officially, legally, finally, and forever will be Dante's Papa.
Yes, ma'am.
And you know that comes with all the legal rights and duties and responsibilities and the great privileges of being both of you, his parents forever.
Yes.
And it's not just till he's 18, you've made a commitment to him already in your heart. You're making a legal one here today to the judge and everyone else that will never change, correct?
Correct.
And you and your husband are asking Judge to change his name legally as you requested in the petition, and it's in the order that you've signed that the judge has been sent, correct?
Correct.
And tell Judge what it means to you to have this adoption happen today.
Oh, man. It's been a journey, and I mean, it's kind of really nice to relive the journey through like all the people that are here, from like helping hand at the very beginning to like all the attorneys that helped us out along the way, to family members that still we got to meet them throughout the months. It's kind of cool and surreal to like see everyone like in this like final milestone. So it definitely means a lot, and I'm sure it's going to mean a lot to him. Unfortunately, we can't record this, but it would have been great to have this.
We recorded. You can get it from my coordinator. Ms. Hyde can contact my coordinator, and we can get it to y'all.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I think it would be amazing too. It'll be fun for him to see this as he gets older too. So is there anything you want to say to the folks gathered here today?
mean, much like Tim, just thank you so much. It honestly does feel like we've built not just a network, but like a new family on its own, just with everyone that we've met along the way. Like even just looking at Mackenzie there, like you were like the biggest support for us when we first started foster care, and it means a lot seeing you here. Seeing Rachel, seeing Shakira, even seeing Mimi all the way from, I believe she's in Wisconsin right now. Thank you to our families, our parents. It does mean a lot seeing you all here, and our siblings and in-laws. So seriously, thank you. We really
Well, I hope y'all are going to be celebrating today down there. Is a celebration going to happen soon?
I think some tacos are in our future down here by the border. So.
You know, Rob and I are jealous about that, so we won't go. But you're ready now to have the legality match the reality that Dante is your son, correct?
Correct.
Thank you very much. Judge, pass this witness.
Thank you. Mr. Wilson?
No questions, Your Honor.
Ms. Harris?
Yes, sir. You are obviously committed to Dante and love him and consider him a part of your family. If he could speak, do you think that he would say he wants the same?
Yes, I do think so.
No further questions, Judge.
Thank you. Ms. Hyde, anything else? Miss Rachel Hausman popped in. She's the CASA advocate. So let's just hear from Miss Rachel. And just Miss Rachel, if you want a narrative, tell us what you think about everything.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to see you. It's so good to be here. This journey that we've all been on has been a blessing to be a part of. Ever since I met you two, I just knew in my heart that you were the very best for Dante. It's just incredible to see his growth and see you guys as parents. You're incredible. Bella's addition to the family and how well they get along. It's just, I've just been praying and watching and just so excited for you guys to have this final chapter and complete everything. I just wish you the best. And I've just been so honored to be a part of it and support you guys along the way. Very, very excited for you guys. And just, that's all.
Thank you, Ms. Hausman. Excuse me, Ms. Hyde, any more witnesses before we get to family?
No, just like if no witnesses, just was going to ask everybody to show you and the family a sign of how they feel, maybe a thumbs up or a heart or a cheer or something like that. Hopefully we can get this unanimous, even if they've testified. Well, I like the hook on them. Yeah. That's it, Judge. I rest and close.
Okay, well, we have some family here today, and I don't know if it's everybody's family or friends. If anybody would like to say anything, just unmute yourself and speak up and identify yourself, please. Your name and how you fit in, just so we all know. And then Ms. Harris, I hadn't forgotten about you. Don't worry. Okay. Anybody like to say anything? Okay, let's see.
Everybody that's in support of this, raise your hand.
Okay, let me go to my other screen and make sure I got everybody. Anybody want to say anything? Okay, thank you. Okay, looks like Pat Solfest, are you trying to unmute yourself? Miss Trinidad, can you unmute him? I don't know how all this stuff, I don't know how to, we went sideways.
Oh,
There you go.
are we there?
Yes, sir, we hear you.
We just wanted to congratulate Tim and Sam and Dante and Bella. We're very happy to have them now, have Dante now as officially part of our family. Looking forward to Bella in another month.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to add anything? Okay, Miss Harris, your turn. Miss Harris has been attorney ad litem for Dante the whole time.
Your Honor, I appreciate the graciousness, the care, and the understanding that Tim and Sam have given freely and unconditionally. If Dante could speak today, I know he would tell you he loves his dad and his papa and his Bella. And today, he's not only getting a daddy and a papa, he's getting a huge, extended, supportive family. Tim and Sam have met all of Dante's needs. I know they'll continue to do so above and beyond. And Dante is already a member of the Camarillo Solfest family, and this is only making it official. So I ask you to grant the adoption and feel blessed to be a part of it today.
Okay. Thank you, Miss Harris. Okay. Okay, before I finish, anybody else? Okay.
Davies, do you want to say thank you to everybody and hi? Can you say hi?
Can you say thank you?
Dante, do you want to say hi?
Do you want to say bye?
Bye.
Hi. Okay, well, I remember when this case came in, and it was interesting. The removal facts were interesting, and I believe, let me look at my docket sheet, but I want to think that we had a contested adversary hearing. Oh, maybe it wasn't contested, but there was kind of some nastiness, for lack of a better word. And the nastiness continued for a while. And I think we got all that resolved, obviously. And y'all were steadfast throughout the whole time and in your commitment to Dante. And Dante started out having some issues, and look where we are now. I mean, with y'all's love and support and dedication, he is just a blowing and going little man. And, 2-year-old, which is, they're always blowing and going, but, thank goodness to y'all for everything y'all did to help him step up. Remind me, I don't remember, was Dante y'all's first foster child?
Oh, no.
Well, we've had a real interesting ride, haven't we, guys? Yeah. And like Miss Welch said, I know we had some family come in late into the deal, and that's fortunate or unfortunate, however you want to think about it. Probably got pros and cons both ways, but I really, as Miss Welch said, I really appreciate y'all being understanding and supportive, because and I read Ms. Housen's last report, and I don't know if y'all got that last report or not, but there were some observations in it that I found very interesting. Not of y'all, but y'all probably know what I'm talking about. And it just, I don't know. It was kind of telling to me, for lack of a better word, and I always knew Dante was where he should be, but we know the family code sometimes gets in the way of what we think is the best interest of the child. And, but fortunately, we didn't have to worry about that. And things worked out the way they should have, starting at the temporary managing conservator date of 12/27/21. So I just can't believe it's been almost 2 years. It just, to me, I know it seems like eternity to y'all, and sometimes during some of the prior hearings early on, it seemed like eternity to me too. But, it seemed, in the big scheme of things, I think it's gone real fast. So, and with y'all moving, it's just a lot going on. So we appreciate everybody staying on the case and being supportive for the dads, and, for Dante also. Also, I want to tell y'all, even though there are a lot of tacos down where y'all live, and we'd all like to eat good tacos, especially living out here in the stick. I don't live in Austin like Miss Hyde does. The rest of us live out here in the sticks, and we don't have such great tacos. So y'all be sure and load up on tacos and things that go along with tacos for all of us also too. Okay. But main thing when I got off what I wanted to tell y'all, we have a lot, Miss Hyde and I and the other lawyers in Casa, we have a lot of cases, not a lot, a few, let me say a few. And I've probably told y'all this in some other hearings, and y'all probably know what I'm getting ready to say. We have hearings where we have to do all the dirty, nasty stuff, and then other courts get to pop in. Oh, look at me, I get to do a fun adoption. So we're really happy and thrilled and honored that y'all chose to continue on and let us do the nasty stuff at the beginning, and then we get to do the really fun stuff at the end. So, and y'all don't have a relationship with any court down there anyway, so it's we're home to y'all. Unless you had some family or something that was a judge or something down there, we might be able to understand that. But I always tell my people, hey, we want to do the adoption. So thank y'all. And I know, we're back in person for now. I'm kind of worried about that, but for now we're back in person. But I know it's a long way, long distance. I know Miss Harris has been down there recently to visit y'all. So Zoom's good, because if we're in person, unless somebody's doing it on a camera, you don't really get a recording. So this is something that you can keep forever and ever. So anyway, thank y'all for letting us do the adoption, and we're honored. So I'm going to find I do have jurisdiction over this case and over Dante, and that his birthday is coming up. And I find that the department is currently Dante. Looks like somebody got a hold of the phone. Currently, Dante's permanent managing conservator. And through Ms. Williams, the department has verbally and in writing given consent to the adoption. And to find that Dante has obviously lived with y'all way longer than the 6 months it's required for adoption. And that y'all have had a gazillion people in your house asking you, especially now with Bella there, you got different units and different lawyers and different CASA. So y'all had people ask you a gazillion silly questions and over again, and you've passed all that with flying colors. I'm going to find that Dante is a United States citizen and a Texas resident, and find that Ms. Harris and Ms. Houseman and Ms. Welch have done a fabulous job being y'all's cheerleaders and sticking up for y'all and for Dante during the pendency of this case. We appreciate y'all's representation, and y'all are released from further representation. Ms. Shakira, y'all are released as permanent managing conservator too. Y'all, I mean, it's unfortunate the world has gotten so crazy, but dads, be sure and get with Ms. Hyde for changing social security numbers, and get her to load up for y'all for getting a lot of certified copies of the adoption decree, because Ms. Hyde and I have been having some issues with that later. So, and y'all know, being in your professions, that sometimes you just never know when you need more copies of orders like that. So just load up on those. I'm going to order that the records be sealed. Good news is there's no more court. Today we were supposed to have a permanency after hearing, but we are done with court. We always like hearing those kind of news. I'm going to order a name change to Dante. What? Just so I know, it's not my business, but well, it is my business because Dante's my business. What is Bella's name? What's Bella's name? Are y'all going to keep Isabella, or do we have a new middle name for her?
No, she's Isabella.
She got every letter in her name. Y'all are going to have to practice with her. But y'all do that. I know in your field you can get that done. Yes,
it's a good thing she's so smart, Judge, so she can write that name out.
Right, that's right. Yeah, and hopefully she's a judge, and she can just or something, just or a doctor or a farmer, just scribble it. So yeah, that's pretty. Okay, so we have a legal name change to Dante Lucas. And last but not least, the best part, I'm gonna grant the adoption. So congratulations, y'all. This has been real fun. And I know Judge Stuckey will have a good time in a month, and you give him a hard time. I give him a hard time for me. And or you can always come to me if you want to punt. Oh, I guess not, because I don't know that child. Anyway, give him a hard time for me. And y'all are
an invitation.
We're so happy. And I mean, Dante couldn't ask for better daddy and Papa. Why don't you like Papa?
I don't know. I think it sounds weirder in English than it does in Spanish. You know, Papa. But everyone just hears Papa.
Laws. Be alert.
I mean, you never know. I think it's key, and you know, it's always interesting what comes out of their mouths anyway. You know, so so I think it's cute. I think it's really cute in Spanish, and now maybe down there the accent will click more than I think's different. No, I like y'all's names, and they're dad and daddy would be kind of confusing. So I think they're real cute. So family, thank y'all for coming. We appreciate that. That means the world to everybody to be here to show your support. And anyway, I will sign the order when I get a break in court today and forward it to Ms. Hyde. But wow, everything's great. Happy. And thank y'all also for keeping up with, the gentleman out of state. And I know y'all are going to do whatever y'all want to do now, but we always got to remember sometimes kids like to get presents from people, so that's always good. So, okay. Thank y'all for coming, and we'll be in recess, and yay.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Congratulations.
Thank
you.
Kiddos are doing well with Miss Green. Seems like one of the big problems is missing some doctor's appointments, but that I think that looks like y'all have a solution to that. But that's what I got from the report. So, Mr. Wilson, you can begin. What do y'all need today?
Sure, Judge. Thank you. That's about right. We're kind of grinding our way toward an adoption here. However, it's my understanding that Ms. Irene, our placement, has been debating whether to wait for some benefits for Michaela or just go ahead and get both adoptions over and done with and move on down the road and get us all out of her hair. And I'm not here to speak for her, but that's what's been relayed to me. The department, I think, would rather wait and maximize those benefits for Michaela. And we've got, I guess, a new, at least, temporary supervisor here to help flesh that out for us. And so that's, I think that's where we're at. We're kind of waiting to get some of these things lined up and waiting to see what the placement ultimately wants to do.
we're also requesting a meeting with all the legal parties in the placement. Between, instead, I guess, set another hearing out, so, and in between the next hearing and that, have this meeting to decide what we do legally, what we do as far as adoption, or do we wait this case out, or what we do. The DID did come back for Michaela, and she did qualify for HCS. The DID disqualified Jaden, but he does qualify for other services through DID, MDD, through the RGS program. And they can come back when he's 21 or 22 and reevaluate him to see if he qualifies for later on. But that's where we're at right now. So we have one child that qualifies for HCS and one doesn't. So we really need to sit down and talk to all the legal parties and the caregiver to decide what's best for all these, both kids.
Well, I'm going to say this. I'm not going to lose a lot of sleep. I mean, I don't know why anybody needs to be hurry, 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 hurry. It's been a while, but these kids have had a bunch of moves in their life, have had a bunch of drama and trauma. And, you know, if it takes a while, I think it takes a while. I mean, I know we need permanency, blah, blah, blah. I got all that. But, you know, whatever. So I'm not real keen on deadlines. So, and, you know, Miss Irene has a disabled child. I think she works in the day. You know, she's a preacher. You know, she's helping other people. You know, the kids have had a lot they've had to deal with and learn. And you know, Michaela getting bullied at school, and it's just been kind of every time we have a hearing in this case, there's something else. I mean, to me, there has never really been a calmness, except when we had Aunt Tony at the beginning, and you know, we don't have that, and that wasn't even calm. We got Grandma and that mom that didn't do anything, and you know, all the other garbage going on in the background. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. So Casa, what do y'all need today that wasn't in your report? Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay.
No, it looks like everything's all set, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay. I mean, I know y'all have a meeting, and that's a great idea. Great idea. Ms. Lang?
Thank you, Judge. I totally agree with your perspective and take. These children deserve the very best, and they need a little bit of everybody communicating evenly instead of sporadic communication. I invited the parties to a meeting 2 weeks ago, and I didn't hear anything back from them. So I'm happy to hear the department's willing to do that. And I think it's really important that we sit down one-on-one, face-to-face, and have a full conversation. I don't want Miss Irene's words to be misinterpreted. I can't imagine she'd ever want to rush through something and deny these children the benefits of what they're entitled to. She's been one of the biggest, strongest advocates along the way. So I'm open to that, have been. And I think it's going to be a good way to resolve this and move forward and give everybody a chance to speak honestly and be heard.
Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, I'm happy with the orders that are in place. Y'all at Items, y'all are staying on making sure the kids go to their doctor appointments, and we've had that discussed. I'm just going to say everything continue because y'all are going to have a meeting and make a plan. And let's come back in November. 2 months and see where we're at. October's too early. November date's November 8th. I mean, you know, these kids, it would be so cool if they could do adoption day, you know, but I don't feel that's going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, I guess. So I'm just going to say everything to continue. Next hearing. 11/8/23, legal parties and Miss Irene meet before. So I would suggest somebody today circulate an email with y'all's available dates so we don't have to come in on 11 and go, Judge, you couldn't get a meeting set up, blah, 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 because that's not going to make me very happy. You know, we have problems getting mediations done, but we don't have that. We don't have that many lawyers on this case. So let's go on and get a meeting set up. Okay. Anybody need any more orders today? Okay. Well, glad that the kids are doing well, and I'll see y'all on 11/8. Thank you. A little man, he's not here. We will be in recess and Casa, Miss Singleton, is that you? Let's see. is Kim Hamilton. She's his guardian ad litem. And the department is here represented by Miss Marie and Henry and her supervisor, Miss Morgan Millaway. My records show, and the state's here represented by Mr. Randy Robinson, San Saba County Attorney. Mr. Robinson, my records show that Mr. Escobar is in default and he was served on June 4th of 2022. Is that correct?
I believe that's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. And also for the record on 8/22/23, we had a final trial. We had a mediated settlement agreement on Miss Gloria. I think her last name's Escobar. Gloria Vasquez, that's correct. And she was terminated via interlocutory order under 161.001B10 grounds. Ms. Miller was her attorney, and Ms. Miller was released on that day. Neither Mom or Mr. Escobar appeared that day. We adjudicated Mr. Escobar as John's father, and just a couple of other orders that I've already announced. So we just need to go on as to what we're going to do about Mr. Escobar today. So he doesn't have an attorney because he has Mr. Baker was originally appointed, and Mr. Escobar didn't fill out his application for court-appointed attorney. Excuse me, per the court order, and he did not comply with my court order to fill that out. He did not answer phone calls to Mr. Baker's office on his phone or his mom or friend's phone about filling out the form. So Mr. Baker was released long time ago, and like I said, Mr. Escobar hadn't appeared. Maybe appeared at the very beginning of the case, but I do not even remember that. So go on, Mr. Rogers. Mr. Rogers. I'm doing Lana. Mr. Robinson.
Thank you, Your Honor. If I might ask you to take judicial notice of the file.
I'll take judicial notice of all the pleadings filed in 10-235.
And in referencing that, I'd like to make just a few statements from the file, Your Honor, for the record.
Please.
One, beginning on when this case began, in the affidavit in support of the petition for the child, in that Mr. Escobar self-reported to having a history of methamphetamine use. And that was at the time that they were meeting with both Ms. Vasquez and her regarding the child. The court on June the 3rd appointed Russ Baker as Mr. Escobar's authority. That's June the 3rd of 22. And the court on, I believe it was November the 29th, 22, released Mr. Baker after he stated in court that he was unable to make any contact with Mr. Escobar, and he was taking no, and he was doing nothing regarding his plan or any requirements with the department. I would like the court to also note that the family service plan regarding Mr. Escobar was filed on July 14th, 2022. A couple more things. Apologize for the delay. That was also shown in our permanency report that he was required to take a DNA test as well as some drug testing, and he never complied with that. And that was in June, July, and August of last year. He was not in attendance at the mediation that he was ordered to attend by this court, and that mediation being held on July 3rd of 2022. As the court noted, Mr. Escobar filed an affidavit of parenthood that was presented to the court, and he was adjudicated as the father that day. In there, we also filed an affidavit of voluntary relinquishment that was executed by Mr. Escobar and notarized by Amanda Tupin, done on the same day as prior to court. And that was not acceptable because it did not have witness signatures on it. That being said, I'd like to enter a little testimony to support our grounds for termination today, Your Honor, and go forward on that.
It was my understanding that y'all were going to talk to him again and see if he would sign another relinquishment with the two witnesses. Did that happen?
No, Your Honor, he did not. I can tell you that Ms. Tupin went out on, and I have a return that we're going to file of record from September the 11th. She effectively served a notice of the hearing to Ida Escobar, the mother of the adjudicated father, Juan Escobar, regarding this adjudication. Termination to be held today. He was also provided a copy of the interlocutory order of termination that we previously did. He did contact my office today inquiring about appearance and said that unless he was court ordered to appear, he was not going to do so.
Okay.
And I can have Ms. Tupin testify to those facts if you would like.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Okay, so you may begin with your testimony.
Okay, Ms. Henry, can you tell me how long you've been on this case, approximately?
It's been over a year since the very beginning of the case.
Have you had any contact with Juan Escobar?
I contacted him within the first month of receiving the case. We had a couple of phone calls and I attempted to set up a home visit. He was not there for the visit. I offered to have him come to the office and waited, and he did not show to the office. And then the next phone call we had, he was stating that he didn't understand why he was being made to do these things because he's not had to do any of this previously. He was very angry and saying he was not going to do, basically that he thought this was ridiculous and he didn't want anything to do with it. And then after that, I'd not had any contact with him. He won't answer phone calls, return any type of communication, text, call. And I've gone by the house, left family plan of service. The day that the judge ordered for him to go do the DNA that afternoon, I went to the house that day and left all the stuff with his stepdad at the time, and he never responded to any type of outreach at all.
Are you aware if there was a family plan created for Mr. Escobar to follow?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And are you testifying that to your knowledge, he made zero compliance with that family service plan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Where is the child currently placed?
He's currently placed in the now Fort Cavazos with his foster family who wish to adopt him.
Okay. And is he doing well in that foster family?
He's doing phenomenal there. He started off with a lot of concerning issues, particularly with not being able to eat well. We thought maybe there was going to be an issue that he could fail to thrive just because he wasn't able to take his food in properly. He was developmentally delayed. There was just a list of things that he had going on. But foster mom has been such a strong advocate for him from day one. She didn't just accept when doctors told her, well, let's see what happens and let's just wait. She understood clearly that if they waited, that he was just going to be that much further behind, and that taking action was so important for him. So because of that, he's not just walking, but he's running. He's developed the cutest personality. He adores her, adores the family. He's made so much progress that it's really what she's done, what the family has done for him is it's amazing. Definitely later on, once they had him evaluated, the doctor did say that by trying to get ahead of the curve, they've been able to close some of those gaps that was caused by his permanent brain damage during the drug use and those other things. So I couldn't have asked for a better opportunity for this child.
Does that foster mother, does she have any special qualifications?
She does. She works in the medical field, and so she is familiar with, the therapy. She's familiar with the terminology, and so she's very proactive in recognizing these things and knowing what she needs to ask for and who she needs to talk to get things done. So it's really been a blessing to have that knowledge behind her.
Okay, and so you believe that she actually brings some extra to the table from most foster families in this case, and are most helpful in trying to help this child progress as he needs it.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Okay. Do you feel like that prior to the child being born, that Mr. Escobar was present and was participating in drug usage by the mother?
According to statements made by his family and by Ms. Vasquez, they were engaging in use of alcohol, use of other illicit drugs. Now, he denied that he was doing anything once he made contact with me in the very beginning, other than to be drinking. But according to his mother, there was concern that he was still continuing to participate in illicit drug use.
So you would agree that when he self-admitted during the investigation process that he was using methamphetamines, that was probably likely?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, Your Honor, I'll pass the witness to anybody else who'd like to talk to her.
Okay. Mr. Wood, any questions of Ms. Henry?
No questions, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next witness, Mr. Robinson.
Your Honor, I don't think I really need to go forward with more witnesses. I would ask, based on the file that we have gone through, the steps we have presented, in the testimony you've heard that you terminate the rights of Juan Escobar regarding this child, and you do it under the grounds of D, that he knowingly placed or allowed the child to remain in conditions which endangered the physical or emotional well-being prenatally, that he engaged in conduct or placed the child with persons who engaged in conduct which endangered the physical or emotional well-being of the child, being the mother. I would also ask we could do it under K, albeit it was not witnessed, that he has filed an unrevoked or irrevocable affidavit of relinquishment, and also on O, that he failed to comply with provisions of court order, numerous court orders that have been brought forth. And we think that that would be in the best interest of this child, looking at the child's emotional and physical needs now and in the future, that the foster family sounds like they are much more qualified and have stepped up to take care of this child. So we believe that is the best interest of the child. And we would ask that to be made an order of the court.
Did you say N also?
Yes, Your Honor, I did.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Ms. Singleton, what do you think about all this?
I agree. He's very blessed to be placed with the family he's with now. He's developing a really cute personality. And the court, I just saw him at daycare, and the worker said that he's on target with all of the kids in his class. They can't tell he's behind at all. It's just amazing. I think it's in his best interest to have both parents' parental rights terminated, and let's move forward with the adoption. The only thing I wanted to correct from my last court hearing is that I gave the wrong amount for his helmet, and the full amount is $1,900. And I attached both bills with the report that I filed.
Well, Ms. Singleton, keep up with that because it's not due till 10/1. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Singleton, have you seen Javon progress from possible exposure to drugs, alcohol, et cetera, to where he is today?
Absolutely. In the beginning, we were all afraid that it was some permanent damage. He does have some permanent damage, but it is mild, and he's doing really, really well.
Well, if he's on track with his other co-students, that's a good sign, correct?
It definitely is, yes. And the foster moms also established a fantastic relationship with his brother and an aunt, and even the paternal grandmother.
Okay.
And she's going to maintain that contact.
Okay, that's good. Mr. Wood, Mr. Robinson, any questions of Ms. Singleton?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Wood, any witnesses?
No witnesses, Your Honor.
What would you like to add, please?
I was added to this case later, but I've talked to the previous ad litem, and he sang praises of the placement. I've interacted with him as well. I think it's a great fit. I do feel it's in the best interest for Javon to be placed there and adopted there.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else have anything else they'd like to add? Okay, I'm going to find by clear and convincing evidence that termination of Mr. Juan Escobar's parental rights in Javon's best interest, based under Texas Family Code Section 161.001, B1 N and O grounds. Therefore, Mr. Escobar's parental rights are terminated. The department is the interlocutory order that's previously entered against Ms. Gloria Vasquez is made a final order. The department, I maybe already said this, department is named permanent managing conservator of Mr. Javon, and our first permanency after hearing will be 11/28/23. Mr. Robinson, do you need anything else?
Your Honor, just clarify for me, that was under N and O grounds?
I did N and O, yes.
Okay, no D and E?
I feel more comfortable with N and O.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
I don't think it's really going to matter. I don't think he's going to appeal, but I know we got good D and E.
Absolutely.
If it's in good D and E, I mean, we got good. Yeah. If this isn't good N and O, I don't know what is,
Very good, Your Honor.
Okay, thank y'all. Everybody on the Sense Advocate, y'all are excused. Thank
Hansen
you. Is
Thank you,
a
Your Honor.
respondent. Thank you. Conservator, as is Mark Hansen. They are represented by Mr. Michael Griffin and Mr. Rogers. You'll explain that situation in a minute, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The department is here represented by Ms. Jeanette Ochoa with her supervisor, Ms. Jacinta Mouton. CAS is here, Mr. Doug Hart. He's the advocate. Ms. Andrea Welch is the supervisor, and Ms. Becky Lang is the attorney ad litem for Daniel. I think that's everybody. So before we begin, Mr. Rogers, if you'll explain for the record the attorney situation.
Yes, Your Honor. We had actually circulated an agreed final order in this case. We received signatures from everyone except for initially the Hansons and from Mr. Griffin, their attorney. When I inquired with Mr. Griffin's office, they indicated that they no longer represent the Hansons in this matter, although they have not filed a formal motion to withdraw. I asked them to send me an email communication to confirm that, which they did, and I forwarded that to the court. So I think where we stand, and either I could ask the Hansons a few questions or the court could, your preference, just to confirm that Mr. Griffin does not represent them. Subsequent to receiving that email, my office felt that we were ethically allowed to communicate with the Hansons under the circumstances, and we did so, and they did execute the agreed final order that had been circulated, just not really in time to avoid this hearing. And just also for the record and for the Hansons' comfort, they had a single request about that agreed final, which removes them as conservator and puts the biological mom in as conservator of the child, regarding the findings on a CPS investigation, and that finding order has been included in the agreed final. So I think in many respects we're in pretty good shape here, but just needed to confirm the status of Mr. Griffin as their counsel.
Okay.
And if you would like me to ask the Hansons, or if the court prefer to, either ways, happy.
Yeah, please.
Okay. And what was your connection to this case initially?
We were PMC over Daniel.
Okay. Obviously the situation deteriorated to the point where you felt you had to get the department involved. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you retained Mr. Griffin's law firm to represent you in the matter, right?
We did.
Okay. It was really throughout the case, your request that your conservatorship and that of your husband be removed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And what is your husband's name?
Mark Hansen.
Okay. And is he here today?
No, he's not.
Okay. Thank you. You also requested that the department would ask the judge to order that they not be found reason to believe, or that y'all not be found reason to believe for any investigation related to the surrender of Daniel. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And since the time of the initial hearings, are you still represented by Mr. Griffin and his law firm in this matter?
No, after I guess there was a hearing back in February. He had told us that was it. We didn't need to go to any more hearings and stuff. And I had contacted his office trying to get a statement, like an itemized statement for the fees paid. And
well, here, let me just stop you. I don't want to go.
I was going to say, and I never could get anything. So I guess the relationship there was terminated by mutual agreement.
Okay. I didn't mean to interrupt you, ma'am. I just didn't want you to divulge any.
No, I wasn't going to.
Information. Okay. And since then, I'll just represent to you, as I have to the court, that I communicated with Mr. Griffin's office, and he indicates that, at least in their mind, they no longer represent you and your husband.
Okay.
Your understanding as well?
Yes.
And have you had a chance to review the agreed order that's been circulated?
Yes, we reviewed it and signed it.
Okay. And it met your satisfaction?
Yes.
And you felt like you understood it?
Yep.
Okay. And your husband signed it as well?
Right.
And then you submitted it back to my office, and I believe we filed it with the court.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I have no further questions for you.
Okay.
Ms. Lang, you have any questions, Ms. Hanson?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Ms. Hanson, you totally feel comfortable signing this order, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Rogers didn't twist your arm or anything to make you sign?
Absolutely not. As a matter of fact, I called in to find out what was going on because I couldn't get I hadn't gotten a copy of anything. So I pushed the right button on the list of numbers.
And Ms. Lang didn't twist your arm making you sign anything?
No.
Okay. Daniel's biological father, I know he's been terminated, but the biological father, none of that family, neither them nor Mr. Hart, Daniel's CASA, right?
No.
Okay.
Nobody's reached out to me at all.
Okay. And did Mr. Mark Hansen sign the order also?
Yes.
Okay, and you can make those same representations about him also, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And you know, we're really not supposed to talk to you, even me, without without your attorney being present. But for the
Yes.
record, you know, I didn't twist your arm either, right?
No, ma'am.
And you feel comfortable and you're voluntarily speaking to me, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Hanson.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Ms. Rogers, we got Ms. Hanson taken care of.
All right.
So you're Ms. Hanson, and keep on going with the body of the order, please.
Okay, thank you. Yes, ma'am. So I believe I misspoke earlier. Just it's actually the father, Mr. Jordan, who's being appointed SMC. Per the order, the biological mother, Miss Sierra Bunting, is going to be appointed a possessory conservator, but her visitation and access is solely subject to the consent of the father, Mr. Jordan. So it's also up to Mr. Jordan whether or not any of her visitation is supervised. Conservators are ordered to provide for medical support of the child as per the order. And as we mentioned before, just this portion of the order, which is important to the Hansons, that they are removed as conservators and that they are not to be found reason to believe regarding any CPS investigations related to the surrender of Daniel. Finally, that Ms. Lang and CASA would be dismissed and that would conclude the proceedings. I'm happy to call the caseworker and or CASA to get a little bit of best interest testimony into the record if the court prefers, or we can simply rely on the terms of the agreed order.
We're not terminating anybody, so.
That's correct.
Parental rights, so I'm.
Yeah,
okay.
parental rights, yeah, we're already previously terminated.
Okay, okay, I'm good. Mr. Hart, are you good with the agreement?
Yes, Your Honor, I am.
Okay, and how's Daniel been acting, you know, what I'm talking about since our last hearing?
He's been doing okay. I think the last little hiccup he had with county was a wake-up call for him. It's a little early to see if it's going to stick or not, but I think he does realize that he's very close to making his life a lot more difficult. So I'm hopeful.
I understand. Miss biological mom, biological father, both signed off on the order, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Miss Lang, what do you think about Daniel's best interest in this order?
Judge, I think it's spot on. I know Doug has had a lot more recent contact with Daniel than I have, but I think Daniel's being parented finally and parented well by his dad, and he's going to be a teenager, and his issues are more juvenile issues than CPS issues at this point in time, and they have a system and a court system to manage that without us having to be in the middle of it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, I'll approve the agreed order and name the biological mom as possessory conservator and Mr. Sean Jordan, the biological father, as the managing conservator. Visits as agreed by mom and dad, and I assume you are going to take Daniel into consideration and also his probation terms or his terms of release, et cetera, because that's pretty big what's going on there. I'm going to remove Mr. and Mrs. Hanson as conservators of Daniel. And also, they're no longer named any type of conservators, and also find that they're not to have a reason to believe finding. Medical support for Daniel is as agreed and set forth in the agreed final order. And Mr. Rogers, we don't need to have a submission hearing because y'all already have everybody's signatures, correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody. This has kind of been a up and down and around hard kind of case. And Mr. Hart, you came in on the end. Thank you for your help. And I know young men need a mentor type you to work on the case. Ms. Lang's been over there to see him, and we appreciate y'all and the department's work, and everybody's released, and the case will be closed per the final order. Thank you. Child.
Thank you,
We're set
Judge.
for trial
Thank you.
today. Looks like some of the lawyers might need to visit. Is that correct? Or what's the plan today, Mr. Rogers?
Yes, Judge, I don't think we can do a final today. We have been trying to locate and serve the parents, but have really had trouble finding them. I think that's also true for some of their own attorneys.
Well, the mother's made appearances before. The mother made an appearance.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
2/16, she made an appearance. The father is alleged, and is there a paternity registry on file with him?
Let me take a look. I
Judge,
also,
Yes,
sorry,
sir.
I spoke with my client last night, and he's agreed for me to make an appearance for him, and he's okay with being terminated. He disputes paternity, but so I mean, a termination would be in line with what my client wants.
Okay.
And I know
Well,
that the lawyers were discussing the possibility of a Rule 11 to resolve this that we could discuss and break out if you'd like.
I think I've got my client here with me and we have her paramour Lee. And I think we're wanting, Judge, if we could just get back on track and maybe the department can offer some testimony. She's not really ready to do an agreement today. She wants to try to get some more footing and ability to reintegrate with her child than what I originally thought last night when I sent you guys the Rule 11. So that would be our request today.
Okay.
We're not set to end till February, so if we could just maybe get back on track, get her plan going, get Lee signed up on a service plan and drug testing and some other testing, and then come back and look and see how we're doing closer to February.
I think what we'll do is we'll just reset this final trial until 11/8, and we'll see because Aspen's with grandma doing fine, right, Ed Adams? Yeah, let's just leave Aspen there, and we'll come back on 11/8, and mom's either on, mom's off. That gives the state time to check the paternity registry. We're still going to have to deal with the paternity registry because he is alleged, Mr. Rogers.
Right.
So, I mean, and I don't think he wants to sign an acknowledgement of paternity or, unless he wants to sign a waiver of interest or something like that. But it's just easier to terminate him under the paternity registry situation.
I'm fine with that, Your Honor.
And so Mr. Lunsford will be easy. It'll be mom's either on or mom's off. And if mom's on, we can then reset until, maybe January and see, but we're going to see because we got a long time of not being on.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, we do. And I guess just to clean up the record, Your Honor, so Miss Aspen has appeared in open court in February and also today. So we'd like to request a general appearance on her behalf. And I believe Mr. Wood said that his client was authorizing him to make a general appearance on his behalf. So just note that for the record, and then we can resolve the service element of it at least, and we'll see how they do.
Okay. Adams Department, y'all need anything today?
Your Honor, I don't know if you want to try to send this case to mediation. I don't know if that's worth doing, but I certainly would be open to that.
Let's see where we are on November 8th. How's that?
Sure.
Because if Miss Crabtree and her paramour don't do anything, we're not going to have to worry about it. But if they do, then maybe we go to mediation, talk about extension, talk about, other things along those lines.
Yeah. Judge, can we get a service plan?
Sorry, go ahead.
Can we get a service plan ordered for Lee Davis is his name?
Okay.
And Your Honor, for the record, I need the court to be aware that Brianna has tested, has a positive pregnancy test. I'll be forwarding those medical records to Ashley. She brought them to my office today, so I have all the records. Unfortunately, she is having some medical concerns and is being watched for possible miscarriage, but she will be going back to the doctor on Friday for a follow-up on that. And then she has an appointment with her regular OBGYN on the 21st. And so we're just watching that, but so the court's aware, Judge, and she's on top of it.
Okay, well, her and Lee also have to hair strand by 3 p.m. on 9/15.
Your Honor, may I ask for a nail test for her? She did, she's colored her hair in the recent past, so she does have enough nails. I've looked at them today. And then Lee is aware that he would be asked to do some drug testing as well. But what time, Judge?
By 3 p.m. Friday, hair or nail, whichever one the facility thinks will work. And if she's already dyed, if she dyed her hair, she's already violated the rules to start out with.
It happened before. We've just now gotten re-engaged, Judge. So thank you for giving us till November. We'll come back and see how we're doing.
Well, that order about no hair dyeing from February 16th, and she was here at that hearing.
Yes, Your Honor.
And no until service plan compliant and 3 consecutive UAs.
I think she's had, Ashley can speak to that. She's been doing her UA testing. Has she got her 3 consecutive yet, Ashley?
I had one in August. Before that, I'm sorry, one visit in August because of the 3 clean consecutive UAs. And then there was a few tests that she missed in August. However, right now I am waiting for a 3rd clean consecutive from testing yesterday.
But Judge, just to clarify, you're saying that she must be service plan compliant in addition to the 3 clean UAs to have this, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, and if she's working on getting re-engaged in her service plan, I got it. That's fine, you know? But, you know, we can't be blowing off everything.
Right. Very good, Judge. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Carter, do you need anything? You good with everything? Good. Y'all good with placement? Grandma's good. I saw her here. Miss Holder's good. Okay, Aspen's good. Okay.
Yes, Aspen's doing well.
Yay, yay, yay. Well, good. She's with family. We're just going to call this a permanency hearing. And with those orders that service plan is ordered for Lee Davis, Miss Brianna and Lee are to hair strand or nail test by 9/15/23 by 3 p.m. per CPS. No visits until service plan compliant and 3 clean consecutive UAs. Miss Brianna, you have a service plan. You have to comply. Your parental rights can be subject to termination. Okay. And we'll set the final trial for 11/8, and we'll either go to trial or we'll see where we're at. And if things are rocking along good, we'll discuss mediation. If not, we'll have a final trial. Everybody good?
Thank you, Judge.
Okay, good luck. We'll see you then, and good plan. And we'll get Nicole on. Lano is in recess. Mr. Greenwood, do we know anything about service or anything on either of these parents? Because they're obviously not here today. Or Ms. Dowell, you know anything? Mr. Cooley, y'all know anything?
No, Your Honor. I mean, no. I'm told that they live under the bridge in Lampasas.
Is there only one bridge?
I don't know. That's just what I'm told by someone that is from Lampasas.
Well, then they
It's
might be.
either- might be the north or south side, Judge.
Oh,
The mom messaged me this morning, and she said she was out of town for her birthday. If we would reschedule court, and I'm like, well, it's not up to me. You need to get in contact with your attorney. Her cell phone's cut off, so she was texting me from like a friend's phone number.
well, I'm glad she's having a happy birthday, you know? That's lovely. Oh, man, second time we've set this.
Yeah, and Your Honor, I still don't know where the child is. And I've been trying to figure that out since our last hearing. I tried to visit with when I understood that mom still had the child. She ghosted me one day and said, oh, I don't have the child. And so I got the number for Ms. Macera. I have texted Ms. Macera and called her. My assistant has called her and texted her. And while I was in mediation this morning in another case, she called the office and says, I don't have the baby, and that the grandmother now has the baby. The affidavit said that Ms. Macera had the baby, and then someone took the baby from HEB. Mom and grandmother Angie Torres took the baby from HEB, or that's what the supposition was. I can't even find this child to visit with her, and it's not for lack of trying.
Miss Carrillo, do you know what Ivy is?
So when I did write the affidavit, mom had signed over temporary custody to Miss Macera on a piece of paper. So as far as I knew, Ivy was with Miss Macera. And then Miss Macera took Ivy to see her mom at HEB, and her mom ran off with her. And then I found the baby with grandmother, which is Angie Torres. So baby was there at Miss Torres's house. But then our last court hearing, I had heard she was back with Sheila. So then that's when I let Mr. Cooley know Ivy's back with Sheila. And then as of today, Sheila did call me and say baby was back with Miss Torres, the grandmother, great grandmother.
This is killing me.
Yeah. It's just Lauren bounces the baby between her grandma and Sheila, Miss Macera.
Okay. Miss Torres, who is related? Angie Torres and Miss Macera. How are they? Remind me how they're related to Miss Lauren.
So Angie Torres is maternal great grandmother, and Sheila Macera is just Lauren's longtime friend. She's known her since she went back to Lampasas to live with her mom.
But oh my gosh. Well, you know, it's concerning, I'm sure for Mr. Cooley too, that we don't have a 1-year-old, almost 9-month-old in one set place, you know. I mean, I don't think I've ever had a case where we couldn't find a baby, you know? That's weird. If that's the case, maybe y'all want to think, you know, who's on first today, blah, blah, blah. Might want to think about amending some pleadings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For at least so we know where the child's going to be during dependency of potential services being worked or not, you know?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Kramer, do you know if Miss Darby's had any contact with the mom?
I believe she said she has, and that she is willing to participate in services.
Well, she told Miss Creo, I believe it was Miss Creo, that she's not going to be here today because she was on a trip for her birthday. You know anything about that?
I do not, Your Honor.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. Here's what we're going to do. We'll just reset this till Monday at 2:30.
Your Honor, I have a medical procedure Monday, and I cannot guarantee that I'll be available by 2:30. It's a outpatient surgery, but I just can't. I don't know the schedule for the day.
Okay.
I can certainly do. I can do any time on the 19th, but you know, or the 20th for that matter.
Okay. Mr. Cooley.
Yes, ma'am.
Look at your text.
Okay.
Could we see if maybe Miss McClure could fill in for you on Monday?
And yes, I would hope to be done, but I just don't want to say, yeah, Judge, everything's going to go great and I'm going to be done. Right. So yes, I can contact Melissa and say, listen, worst case scenario, can you sit in for me? And, but I need to see the baby before then.
Right.
I've got tomorrow and Friday to do so.
And if Miss McClure wants to go with you, you know, whatever, I'll pay both of y'all to be able to do that, however y'all want to do that. Yeah, and if you're kind of out of it or whatever from your procedure, if you just want to, we recognize your voice. If you just want to.
I shouldn't be that. It's just a matter of whether I'll still be in some waiting room, some recovery room. I just don't know.
I understand. But just saying, you know, I had one of our lawyers today said he broke a tooth, so he was drooling. You know, if you're drooling, for example, we can, you know, he didn't drool, but he said he was going to. If you're, you know, we can just do the camera. I mean, do the video, audio, whatever it's called.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, Mr. Greenwood, if Ms. Moore is on here, y'all will do a reset till 2:30 on Monday. And I'm about at that point in time, that'll be number 3. I don't know what we're going to, Ms. Greenwood, Ms. Guy will need to talk to Ms. Carrillo about service, or, you know, I don't know when she's coming back, but y'all might want to talk about amending pleadings or, you know, something like that.
I do have in the file, Judge, that she was served with a citation on August 23rd.
Oh, you do? I didn't know that. What about him?
I'm sorry, August 24th. I don't have a copy of the service for him. And
well, then she's in default, and we could go forward on her.
Yeah.
Are we concerned? Are they together, Ms. Correa?
Yes, ma'am, they are. As far as I know, they both live in that little trailer thing.
Okay. Well, let's go to Monday and we can think about it then. Okay. 2:30 Monday. What's that? The 18th.